Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us here. This is quite the story. So how did this story come to your attention?
Oh, hi, Daryl. Well, it's a member of the community reached me. She is also an activist when it comes to issues of sex trafficking and violence involving Indigenous women and girls. She said this talk about this issue, this alleged offense, was burning up the community Facebook group that involves members who live in Sandy Bay. And she also said it kind of reached a peak last week when these construction workers were escorted off the community, basically kicked out by the band.
Mm-hmm. So Kathleen, what is alleged to have happened here?
Well, there are workers who are living in the community. It's about 200 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg. It's an Ojibwe community. And for several years now, there's been a construction company up there working, building a new water treatment plant. And so they live in housing. They're fed and housed by the band as part of the contract. And so the allegation is that a minor, a young girl, was trafficked into the community, kept in the workers' housing, and then filmed or photographed while committing sex acts with these workers, and also that drugs were involved.
Okay. And Kathleen, what does the company say about this? What's the First Nation saying about this? Or what's everybody saying about this?
Right. Well, reached out to the First Nation right away. Have not had any response from the chief or council. I know I've had confirmation from a couple of sources that they did use a band council resolution to order the workers, the company, out of the community last week. I haven't received a copy yet. I'm still working on that. But the company who I reached called me back at least twice to say they are aware of allegations, that they're serious, that they also have received, somebody in the company is aware of the band council resolution, and they also say that they are willing to cooperate in any way, even though as of yesterday the authorities, the police, the band hadn't reached out to the company as of yet.
Well, and Kathleen, of course, nothing has been proven in court in this case yet, but how does it fit in the broader issue of construction workers camped in First Nations? Yeah,
well, that's I think why the person who reached out to me initially brought it to my attention, because APTN's done a lot of stories about fears around what we colloquially call man camps. That's when these outside workers come into a community and could exploit young women who live there. And so this is the first time for me, I've done a lot of stories on it, but the first time for me actually hearing that this may have happened. Mm-hmm. And so if police are investigating, First Nations police, if charges are laid, it will be very closely followed for that very reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly, Kathleen, and you'll be keeping a close eye on this, and in turn we'll be keeping a close eye on this. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little update on this.
For sure. Thanks, Daryl.